In the last video we tackled the head, and we've made the eyes, nose, mouth, and not the mouth, the ears. So in this video we're going to have a look at doing the upper body. I haven't mentioned this, but please keep saving your work as you go along. We don't want to lose anything. So let's have a go at this upper body. So we'll use the same techniques that we've done up to yet. We're going to add a cube. I'm going to rename this body. We're then going to go into edit mode, so tab, use the loop cut tool, cut it in half, select off the loop cut tool, select these polygons with 3 for face mode, and press X and delete the faces. We then want to add a mirror modifier. Where's the mirror modifier gone? I can't see it. There we go. And then we want to add a, just gonna, we'll leave it open because we're going to need this clipping. And then I'm going to add another modifier, subdivision surface. The order that these are applied in does matter because the subdivision surface modifier will depend on, if it's got a mirror, it will take that into account. It will mirror it first and then subdivide it, and it will give you a slightly different shape. Okay, so we've got a body. I'm going to probably use 3 subdivisions again. And now when we come to looking at this, the textures and everything, we will be able to go to object, shade smooth, and it will look like this. And you can do that now if you want. Click on your object, object, shade smooth. Click on your object, object, shade smooth. The geometry is not changed. It's just the way that it's being rendered. I don't think the nose will do that yet because obviously I don't think it'll shade that smooth. Same with this, object, shade smooth. I sometimes like to see the angles of the shade flat. I sometimes like to see this sort of faceted geometry while I'm working because it helps me sort of understand the direction of the faces. I can see it turning, but that's a personal preference. Some people like it to look smooth while they're doing it, but that doesn't look too bad as we're going on. Right, so let's move this into place. So let's scale it with S or use the scale tool, bring it in, push it down. I think it'll probably live about somewhere like that. That looks okay to me. Let's press 1 to go into front view. Let's go into X-ray mode and have a look what we've got. So while I'm going to sculpt this, what I'm probably going to do is turn off subdivision surface for a minute. So if you click this button here, it should, oops, let me go off here. It should turn subdivision surface off. There we go. I thought it was the other one. It's that one. Or you can actually turn the subdivisions down to 1. So I'm just going to work in between these modes. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a loop cut in here. So yeah, it is that one. So that one must be for one of them's edit mode and one of them's object mode. I thought it was that one. So that one, when you're in edit mode, it's this one, and that one's for when you're in object mode. So let's just put it on, and I'm doing this to create it's making it a bit flatter at the bottom. Do I want to do that? I'm probably going to do one halfway. That might be the easiest. And what I'm aiming for is to make this into the arm socket. Yeah, I'm just going to do one halfway. Again, there's no rules, and as you are doing this type of work, you are solving problems and you are figuring out how to do it. I'm going back into object mode, and I'm going to scale it along the y-axis. I'm just going to scale that character in, and again, this is going to be down to your own judgment. I'm just scaling it even further. Scaling with, I'm just trying to get a size that I think is about right. So this is your own personal judgment and how you want your character to look. I'm going to go for something a little bit like that, I think. I don't necessarily want it to be dead in the center either. I might want it to be slightly forward. But I think for now that's okay. Let's get more of the body in before we go any further. And for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my picture so I can see a little bit more clearly. And I'm probably going to put a loop this way as well. Let's have a look. We've got 1, 2. I'm just having a look at what we can do here. Yeah, I'll probably put another one in here. What I'm doing, trying to create a little bit of extra geometry ready for this arm. So what we're actually going to do is a bit strange, but we're going to delete these 4 faces. Faces, delete. And the arm's going to attach onto here in a little while. So let me just, yeah, I'm trying to get the number of faces around the edge to be consistent. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to select these edges of this arm socket. If you can't see that one, you might have to hide the head. So like I've selected the wrong ones there. So I've got the loop around the arm, and I'm just going to extrude that out a little bit. Now I've extruded it in 3D, which is not the best solution. So I'm going to press 1. I'm going to extrude it in 2D this way a little bit, probably like that. And then I'm going to put my picture back on and my head back on. And I'm going to just scale that in a little bit. So this is going to be the arm socket, essentially. And we probably need a little bit more geometry to make this right. So let's put in another loop cut. So there's no right and wrong way of doing this. I'm just trying to get enough geometry to do it. That's looking a little bit wide, so SY. And now it's just a matter of refining your shape a little bit, because it looks quite blocky and it's not quite the right shape. So let's maybe grab this line here. So I've got the loop tool on, I need to take that off. That's something I always do wrong. So I could move this in a bit, and it's not very rounded, so what I could also do is get this loop here and move this in and round it out a bit, and I could actually get that loop and bring it out a bit. So this here is going to depend. Let me just get the whole loop here. Can't actually see what I'm doing. There we go. could bring it, just round it out a little bit, and might need to push this polygon in a little bit. And then what I find is really useful is going into this edit mode here, and this is where I'm going to do most of the work. So this line here, I'm going to just move it, and it's just a matter now, let me hide that head, it's just a matter of now moving things around to get a better shape. If you're moving anything, let me get rid of that picture. If you're moving anything at the front and back, you want to try and do them together. Another useful technique is edge sliding. So if I move this, I mean obviously I can move that along the line, but if I press GG, it will slide along this edge, and I can use that to, so GG, I can slide, actually I can slide the whole line. So if I go into line mode, select the line, GG, I can slide it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out a better shape for this, and I'm trying to keep the geometry a bit more even, because I didn't make a particularly good job of getting it right in the first place. So let's get this line here, GG, and pull that in. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to round the character out a bit. And when we put the cage back on, and you can keep putting the cage back on and having a look at what effect it's had, and you might find you need another loop in here to keep the shape what you want. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible for now. I think what's wrong with mine is if I click that one and that one, I'm going to scale them in and move them down, so it's creating a bit more of a rounded arm socket. And I'm going to do the same with this, and I'm going to move them in a little bit. Same with this one, I'm going to move it up and I'm going to move it in. And I think that's my problem, what I've done. I've created a square rather than a circle. So I'm going to get them 4 and I'm going to scale them in. And now I think it will be a little bit better shape. And I am going to put a loop cut in here. So there are no actual rules at this stage. So while you're doing this body bit, this is a great way for you to just experiment with a bit of modeling. You're all going to have very different results after this. Now I have to be careful there, I just slid it the wrong way. So this gives you an opportunity to just practice just manipulating the polygons and trying to get the geometry even as possible, and get the shape that you like, and it's going to be completely up to you. So probably something like that. So keep checking it, keep looking at your picture, keep going into subdivision surface mode and having a look if it looks at all right. Now we are going to be looking at the way the arm comes out. So ultimately I think this bit here is going to have to come in so that we can get the arm to come down. But for now, I think for a basic shape for the character, I'm going to say that's okay. One thing I am going to do is this back area here, so this bit and this bit, I'm going to bring it in a little bit, because your back naturally curves, and likewise you could actually bring it out at the back and give the back a little bit of shape, and you could also do the front chest, you could slope that in as well and give it a bit more shape. Having some knowledge of anatomy helps. Like you have this clavicle bone that comes up here, which is why I've got that pointy bit. Depends if you want to give your character much shape here, whether they've got a bit of a belly or not. And then just gently, don't change it by a lot when you're changing it, just change it by a bit and just see if you can get a shape that you're happy with for your character. So we've got a shape. I'm just concerned about this pinching here that's going on. Why is it doing that? Let me just go into wireframe mode. We can see we've got a problem here. I'm wondering if I switch the mirror and the subdivide the other way around, it will fix that. So what it was doing, it was doing them in the wrong order. So just be careful with that. Z, solid mode. And I think we will leave that as it is. So now we've got a line. Let's go to object, shade smooth. Shade smooth. Whoops, select it first. Object, shade smooth. Yeah, we've got a line now. That was the right way. I've definitely got some problem here. Definitely got some issue. I'll have a look at what that is and then I will fix it and show you what I did. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that for now. And in the next episode we'll do the legs and the feet. The legs and the feet will be easier. The arms won't be too bad. The hands will be a bit more difficult. I'll have a quick look at this off camera. So I'm not faffing around with it and boring you all to death, and then I'll come back and tell you what I did. Okay, cheers, thanks.